Hey everyone, welcome back to Listening XYZ Headphone, the podcast where English learning feels fun and real. Forget boring lessons, here we talk like friends. Today's topic is super exciting, let's go. You're now tuned in to Listening XYZ, the place where style, stories, and English practice meet.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unpack compelling insights to help you stay incredibly well informed. If you're a parent, an educator, or, really anyone trying to understand the modern world, social media and young people, they're just completely intertwined these days. It's such a huge part of the teenage experience, right? It shapes so much how they connect, how they learn, even how they see themselves. So today, we're diving deep into that very world, teen social media. Our insights are coming from a really interesting look at something called teen social media, benefits and drawbacks. And the big question, the one our source really puts front and center, is "Fekaizajanutsan," which translates from Urdu to more benefit or harm. That's what we're digging into. We're going to try and weigh the upsides against the potential downsides, right? Especially think about platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, it's definitely a crucial topic. I mean, the impact these platforms have every single day on developing minds is profound. And our source really guides us to approach this with a balanced perspective, a critical eye. Because it's rarely just good or bad, is it? It's complicated, it's always changing, needs a really thoughtful exploration.
That's a great way to put it, complicated. And it makes sense then to start with the FADA, the benefits, to really get the whole picture. Our material points right away to something really powerful for young people. The idea that content is easy relatable. Easy relatable. Now think about Instagram, with all the stories and reels, or Snapchat, those quick kind of raw moments. Or just the sheer amount of stuff on YouTube. It's pretty clear how that content becomes easy relatable, right? It often just mirrors what they're actually going through. Like seeing other teens dealing with school stress or celebrating something small, or even just, a meme that totally nails a feeling and makes them feel understood, I think.
Yeah.
And these trends, these viral things, they become these shared cultural touch points almost instantly.
Right.
Creating this common language, this sense of belonging, sometimes even globally. It's like finding out someone else gets exactly what you feel, and maybe you made a funny video about it.
What's truly fascinating here is exactly that point about relatability, especially for teenagers. This is such a key time for identity formation, right? Figuring out who you are, where you fit in. So seeing content that clicks with their own feelings or struggles, it isn't just entertainment, it's actually a tool for self-discovery, for validation. It really helps foster that sense of belonging, shows them they aren't alone. Imagine a teen somewhere maybe feeling a bit isolated, and they find a YouTube channel about some obscure interest they have.
Right, like niche music or something.
Exactly. And suddenly, bam, they're connected to this whole community that shares their passion. It can be a safe space to explore things they can't easily explore locally. That feeling of, oh, I see myself in that. It's incredibly important during those years. It really does expand their world.
That really drives home how important relatability can be.
Yeah.
Makes you think, though, does that instant validation always lead to, positive identity stuff?
Yeah.
But okay, before we go down that rabbit hole, our source points to another benefit, maybe a bit more practical, often overlooked. It calls it English listening practice. Which sounds a bit like homework, but it probably isn't meant that way, right?
Probably not, no.
Think about a teen watching hours of YouTube, maybe vloggers from the UK or US or gaming streams. They're just soaking up accents, slang, how people actually talk without really trying. Instagram too, stories with people talking, reels, even captions being read. Little bites of listening practice. And Snapchat, it's so casual, right? Those quick video messages back and forth. It could be like a mini immersion. They're not sitting down thinking, time for English practice. They're just interested in the content.
Exactly. Driven by interest.
What's this person up to? Or how do I beat this level? The learning is almost accidental. Learning slang because their favorite streamer says it all the time.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, language learning, this kind of informal exposure is super powerful precisely because it doesn't feel like studying. Formal learning, grammar, vocab lists, that's important, sure. But this, engaging with native speakers, authentic content, it gives you that natural feel for the language, cadence, idioms, even cultural bits that are hard to teach in a classroom.
Makes it feel real, relevant.
Exactly. For lots of young people, maybe in countries where English isn't the first language, these platforms are just an accessible, enjoyable way to get better at understanding. Just by following their interests. It kind of bridges that gap between school English and, real-world English, makes it a tool, not just a subject.
Okay, so we've definitely unpacked some compelling theta, the relatability, the sense of belonging, exploring identity, even the sneaky language practice. But like you said, it's complicated. Our source, right in the title, flags up the other side. It's benefits and drawbacks. So let's pivot a bit. Let's look at the nuksan, the drawbacks. And here's where it gets really interesting. Because our source explicitly mentions drawbacks. It calls them out. But and this is key for our deep dive, while it clearly says drawbacks exist, it doesn't actually list any specific examples. It just tells us, yep, there are downsides, which kind of pushes us to think more broadly.
Precisely. That's a really important nuance. The presence of the word drawbacks in the title is significant in itself. Even without a list, it forces us, doesn't it? It forces us to think critically about the potential conceptual downsides, the things we know can be challenging with these platforms for teens. Things like, well, you think about Instagram and the pressure, right? The comparison game, the curated perfection.
Yeah, everyone's life looks amazing online.
Right. Or privacy concerns, maybe more with something like Snapchat, where things feel fleeting but maybe aren't. Sharing too much too fast. And then there are the things we hear about a lot, misinformation, finding stuff that's not appropriate, maybe just spending too much time, dependency. That's a risk across YouTube, Instagram, all of them. So the source, by not listing specifics, kind of makes us bring these known potential issues to the table. It ensures we consider them as part of that balanced picture you mentioned. It's a call for mindfulness, for vigilance. For every upside, there's often something that needs careful navigation.
That's a really crucial distinction. The mention implies the category, even without the details. So given that our source stresses balance and implies these potential nukes, what does that mean for us, for parents, for educators? How should we think about this possibility of harm?
Well, I think the possibility of harm means we need to be proactive, not just reactive. It's not enough to just say, oh, yeah, there are downsides. It means we need to actively build up digital literacy, resilience in young people. So, for instance, thinking about that curated perfection on Instagram. The answer isn't necessarily ban Instagram.
Right.
It's more about teaching critical thinking, helping teens understand, hey, this is a highlight reel, not the whole story. For Snapchat, maybe it's about really understanding digital footprints, even if messages disappear. Privacy settings, thinking before you send. And across the board, it's about fostering a healthy relationship with screens generally, knowing when it's too much. Spotting misinformation. The source's silence on the specifics kind of becomes this invitation, doesn't it? An invitation for us to equip young people with the tools to navigate these known potential challenges themselves, rather than just, standing by and watching. It's about empowering them to tell the theta from the nuksan in their own digital lives, day by day.
That really does bring us full circle back to that core question from our source, Fadejari Nuksan. More benefit or harm? And after looking at the upsides, relatability, language skills, and also acknowledging these implied potential drawbacks. Yeah, it's definitely not a simple yes or no.
Not at all.
It's clearly way more complex. A shifting balance. So what does this all mean when we try to weigh the benefits against these implied drawbacks? Where do we land?
Well, if we connect this back to the bigger picture, our source seems to be pushing us towards continuous assessment. Not a final judgment. It's about recognizing that the impact, it varies hugely, person to person. And even for the same person, it changes over time or depends how they're using these platforms. The source doesn't hand us an easy answer, and maybe that's the most important takeaway. Instead, it invites you, the listener, to keep evaluating. It suggests that benefit or harm isn't like a destination you arrive at. It's more of an ongoing journey of watching, thinking critically. It encourages us to apply that balanced thinking to what we see, to the kids we know, and just to how this digital world keeps changing. It's really about holding both sides in mind, the potential good and the potential challenges, and realizing that balance is always shifting. It needs constant attention, constant discernment.
And what a journey it's been today. A real deep dive guided by teens' social media, benefits and drawbacks.
Yeah.
We've looked at the world of teens on Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. We see the theta, the clear benefits like content being easy, relatable, and that perhaps surprising English listening practice. And we've also really considered the nuksan, the drawbacks acknowledging their presence, thinking about those implied challenges like mental health, privacy, and misinformation, all centered around that core question, Fadejari nuksan, more benefit or harm?
Indeed. And maybe the real deep dive, the ongoing one, isn't just about mapping the current benefits and drawbacks. Perhaps it's about continually asking that question, is there more benefit or harm? Not looking for a final score, but using it as a live question, an ongoing assessment, a dynamic check-in that needs our constant attention as technology keeps reshaping how young people live and grow. It reminds us that our role, maybe, is to help them navigate this landscape wisely, recognizing the good, spotting the pitfalls.
That is a powerful thought to leave us with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep asking those questions, keep exploring, and keep thinking critically. We'll be back soon with more insights to unpack.
That's it for today's episode. Tell us in the comments what you think backhand index pointing down. If you enjoyed this talk, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends Rocket. Remember, listen, learn, level up. Fire. See you in the next episode.